At the beginning of the story, we see a house in the snowy plains of Sweden where two couples, Jack and his girlfriend Ingrid, live. Jack lives in this snowy plain, away from people, because he used to be a dangerous contract killer who killed people for money and has brutally killed many people for money. But now, Jack is fed up with this evil work and wants to leave his work and live a peaceful life with his girlfriend here, away from people. Jack has not told his girlfriend, Ingrid, anything about his past life. It turns out that he was a contract killer, therefore Ingrid doesn't know anything about Jack or what he used to do. Ingrid thinks Jack is a very decent person. Their life here, away from people, was going well, but Jack was afraid that someone might come and kill him. The next morning, when they go out for a walk in the snow, they spot footprints along the path. Seeing them, Jack's girlfriend, Angry, tells them they're hunter's footprints, but Jack doesn't believe they're hunter's footprints at all. And Jack feels threatened because, as a killer, he's seen many such things. He realizes someone is here to kill him. So Jack tells his girlfriend to run. They both run and hide behind a large rock. Just then, a man starts shooting at them, and Jack's suspicion turns into certainty that someone wants to kill him. Jack then pulls a gun from his pocket, and Angry sees it. Angry is shocked. She can't understand how Jack got a gun. Jack then slowly moves forward and kills the man with a single shot. Seeing Jack's perfect aim, Angry realizes that Jack is no ordinary person. Jack then approaches the man and begins to search him. Seeing all this, Angry is completely confused and begins to question Jack, asking him who he is and why he killed this man. She also says they should call the police, but Jack refuses to call the police. But out of fear, Angry repeatedly insists on calling the police. In fact, Jack didn't want to call the police, because if they had, the truth about Jack being a contract killer would have been revealed to the whole world. Therefore, Jack didn't want to reveal his truth to anyone, and now Jack realizes that Ingrid has found out his truth. Then, at Ingrid's repeated insistence, Jack tells Ingrid to go back and call the police. Hearing this, Ingrid starts to call the police, but Jack reluctantly shoots him from behind, killing him. Knowing that this girl now knows his identity, she could prove dangerous for him in the future. We see another man in the distance. This is actually the partner of the man who killed Jack. He had sent his partner to kill Jack, and now this man is waiting for his partner to return after killing Jack. But just then, Jack arrives and kills that man as well. Jack understands that if two people have come here to kill him, then more people could come too. Therefore, Jack doesn't feel safe in this place. He soon leaves Sweden and arrives in Rome, Italy, where he meets his handler, Pavel. He tells him everything. Pavel then says, "There was a girl with you," to which Jack replies, "Yes, but she didn't tell anyone about me because I killed her immediately after finding out the truth." Hearing this, Pavel becomes angry at Jack and says, "You know your work is very dangerous, so you should stay completely alone. If someone else is with you, she could cause trouble for you, so don't get involved with any girl again." Jack agrees and tells Pavel that he must find the people who attacked him as soon as possible. Pavel tells him not to worry, "I'll find out soon, but you can't stay here in this city because your life is in danger, so I'm sending you to a nearby small village where you can live safely." Pavel then gives Jack the car keys and a mobile phone, saying, "I'll contact you on this phone." Jack then gets in the car and heads towards the village, arriving shortly after. But upon arriving, Jack feels something strange. He feels like his life is in danger, and the people in the village are looking at him with a strange, they are watching. Therefore, Jack doesn't feel safe staying in the place indicated by his handler, so he turns his car and starts driving in another direction. Jack was a very cunning person. He made every decision very carefully. So on the way, he throws the mobile phone given to him by his handler Pavel into a river, so that even his handler Pavel can't track him using the mobile phone. Jack arrives in a big city, where he buys an apartment for himself and settles in. Here, Jack feels safe because no one except Jack knows that he lives there. But even here, Jack remains very secretive and doesn't reveal his identity to anyone. When someone asks him his name, Jack tells him his name is Edward, but most people call him American. Now, Jack gradually begins to learn the ways of the people. He goes to a cafe every day to drink coffee, and when people ask him about his work, he introduces himself as a photographer. Jack has also bought a camera and photographs everywhere throughout the day so that no one will suspect him. But Jack remains extremely cautious wherever he goes, knowing he could be attacked at any moment. One morning, he goes to a vending machine, but when he tries to get a cold drink out of the machine, he realizes it's broken. Jack tries to fix it, but Jack can't fix it. Just then, a priest comes to him. Jack tells him, "The machine is broken. I tried so hard to fix it, but I'm inexperienced in making machines from the beginning. I just can't fix it." Then the priest helps him. Here, the priest asks Jack, "I know you're American, but I want to know what you're here for in Italy." Jack tells him, "I'm a journalist and I want to photograph all of Italy." But the priest doesn't believe Jack. The priest realizes Jack is a very dangerous person, so he tells Jack, "Come to my house one day. I can arrange a nice meal for you, and I want to know more about you, because you're new to town, so you're a guest for me." But Jack flatly refuses to go to the priest's house, saying, "I don't want to make friends with anyone." The priest then says, "I'm a priest. I can see everything, so don't refuse me." And now Jack understands that the priest is suspicious of him, so he quietly leaves without talking to the priest. After returning home, Jack feels uneasy. He tries to calm his mind by exercising, but the memory of killing his girlfriend haunts him constantly. He also fears that the people who attacked him in Sweden might come back and kill him here. So Jack calls his handler Pavel and asks about the people who attacked Jack in Sweden. But instead of telling Jack about them, Pavel becomes furious and says, "How dare you throw the phone away? I've been trying to contact you for so long, but you weren't picking up. So I forgive you this time, but if you do something like this again, don't call me again." Now, Pavel tells Jack that he has a job for him. "I have a very easy job and a lot of money." Jack asks, "What's the job? First, tell me about it." Pavel tells Jack that this time he won't have to kill anyone, but rather he will have to build a customized sniper gun with a maximum range of 4 kilometers. Jack agrees. Pavel then tells Jack that a girl will come to meet him and give him all the information. Jack leaves, and soon it's evening. Jack feels very uneasy that evening, so Jack goes to the pastor's house. The pastor is very happy to see Jack, and they start drinking together. The pastor sees Jack quite upset. He tells Jack that he must forget his past memories, otherwise he won't be able to live a good life. But all this was very difficult for Jack. He was reminded of his girlfriend Ingrid every day, and now he was disgusted with himself for killing that innocent girl. Afterwards, Jack returned home, and the next day he arrived at the market where, as instructed by his handler Pavel, he was supposed to meet a girl. Jack was supposed to meet a girl, so Jack looked around, but he couldn't see her anywhere. Then his eyes fell on a table in front of him where a girl wearing sunglasses sat quietly. Seeing her, Jack immediately realized that she was the one. It's the same girl. Jack goes straight to the table next to her. Then the girl, Matilda, deliberately drops her paper. Jack picks it up and gives it to her. After handing it, a conversation begins between the two, and Matilda tells Jack, "I'm the girl for whom you need to build a sniper gun." Matilda then begins giving Jack all the details about the rifle she needs, and he begins writing everything one by one. Jack then notices a man watching them from a distance. Seeing this, Jack asks Matilda if she's with him. Matilda says, "No, I work alone. I don't know who that man is." Hearing this, Jack's tension increases. After Matilda leaves, Jack begins to return home when the man follows Jack. Seeing this, Jack's suspicion turns into certainty that someone is stalking him, and today Jack changes his route and comes home by a different route. Jack does this so that the man stalking him doesn't know about his house. But now he can't sleep at night because he thinks that the man has broken into his house to kill him, and Jack picks up his gun at every little sound. The next morning, he goes to the post office where his parcel has arrived. Jack picks up his parcel and goes straight home. Inside this parcel were gun parts that Jack had to assemble into a sniper rifle. Jack gets to work. He starts assembling all the parts one by one. Jack, besides being a killer, is also a very good weapons craftsman. But he removes some parts from the vehicles. Just as Jack is about to leave, he notices a photo in front of him showing the priest and the boy very close. Seeing this, Jack realizes that this boy is the priest's son. But Jack doesn't say anything to the boy and goes straight home. He arrives. Back home, Jack gets to work. He needs to make a silencer for his gun, so he works all night, and by morning he's finished a complete rifle. But now he needs to test the rifle, so he goes to an empty part of the woods and begins testing it. After firing several rounds, he finds no flaws in the rifle. This delights Jack, and now, feeling happy about completing his task, he returns to the club. There, Jack tells the club members, "I want to meet Clara," but the girls working there tell him that Clara hasn't come today, so he can go with another girl. But he didn't want to meet anyone else except Clara, so Jack leaves. Now, as Jack is returning, on the way, he sees the same car in which a man had been following him for several days. Seeing this, Jack understands that the man must be somewhere nearby, so Jack goes to a cafe. Just then, the waiter brings an envelope and places it on Jack's table. As Jack opens the envelope, he finds a cut-out piece of newspaper containing photos of all the people Jack had killed in Sweden. This disturbs him, and Jack realizes that someone is watching him and wants to kill him. Now, Jack must leave this city as soon as possible, but before leaving, he must somehow deliver the gun. So Jack calls his handler, Pavel, and tells him that Matilda's rifle is ready. Upon hearing this, Pavel tells Jack that a girl named Matilda will meet him at the train station tomorrow, and he should give her the rifle, and she will give him his money. After this, Jack starts walking towards his home, but today he doesn't take the usual route. He takes a different route and sleeps with the gun all night. As soon as morning comes, he goes straight to the train station where Matilda comes to meet him. Jack takes Matilda to the forest to have her rifle checked, where he had practiced before. Jack spreads a sheet on the ground so that no trace of the gun remains on the ground, and the police will never know. After which, Jack puts all the parts of the rifle away, but Matilda picks up the parts and assembles the rifle with ease. Seeing this, Jack realizes that Matilda is also a rifle expert and knows a lot about guns. Matilda sets up an iron flower at a distance for her target and begins her target practice. Seeing the way she shoots, Jack realizes that Matilda is a very good shooter. Matilda likes the rifle, but she wants to know about the silencer. So she goes straight to the spot where she had placed the iron flower for aiming and tells Jack to aim at the flower next to her. Hearing this, Jack is surprised and wonders how Matilda trusts him so much. How is that? Because if the bullet deviates even slightly, it will hit Matilda directly. But Matilda didn't seem bothered by this, as if she'd already seen Jack's shooting skills. Jack aimed at a flower 2 inches away from Matilda, and the bullet passed right past Matilda and hit the flower. Despite the bullet passing close by, the girl didn't blink even once. She returned and praised Jack's rifle, saying, "You've made a very good rifle, but you still need to make some adjustments to it, and whatever changes you need to make to the rifle," Matilda gave Jack all the details. She also gave him half the money, saying, "I want this rifle by the 1st of next month, and you'll get your full payment after I receive the gun on the 1st of next month." Now, as they are about to leave, Matilda drops the bullet casings into the river, and Jack deliberately spills the mine on the grass so that anyone who comes here will think they're just normal people drinking. Just then, a butterfly lands on Matilda's arm. Seeing this, he tells Matilda to sit comfortably and begins to explain the butterfly's unique qualities, explaining why it's so special. After hearing this, Matilda tells Jack, "From now on, I'll call you Mr. Butterfly." They both then go their separate ways, but Jack is quite upset because he'll have to stay in town for a few more weeks. To relieve his anxiety, Jack goes straight to Clara, where they share a romantic relationship. But as Jack leaves, Clara also calls him Mr. Butterfly, because he has a butterfly tattoo on his waist. Jack has a butterfly tattoo on his waist. She also tells Jack, "The club people here told me you came to here a few days ago and were asking about me, but when you found out I was on vacation, you left without spending time with any other girl. And whenever I spend the night with you, you always pay me more. So I want to know why you do this." Jack then tells her, "I don't need to feel special. You treat me like you do with other customers. You don't need to do anything like that with me. Just be yourself." With that, Jack leaves and comes home to work on the gun. He starts making it using the design Matilda gave him. One day, when Jack goes to the market, he meets Clara, who was out with a friend, and they have a lot of conversations, and from their conversations, we get the impression that they've started to like each other. Jack says, "I'm free on Sunday, and if you want, we can meet at the cafe." Clara agrees, and she leaves with her friend. Jack is sitting at a table drinking coffee when he reads a newspaper report about someone brutally killing people in the town. This news makes Jack worried about Clara. Then, while returning home, he spots the man who has been stalking him for days. Seeing the man, Jack quickly hides in a hole, takes off his shoes and hides them. As the man walks past him looking for Jack, he follows him slowly and takes out his gun. Jack takes off his shoes so that he can't hear his footsteps. He takes off his shoes so that he can't hear the man. Just as Jack is about to kill the man, someone approaches from behind on a motorcycle, and the man turns around to look at Jack. Upon seeing Jack, the man pulls out his gun and starts firing at him. But Jack, to protect himself, hides in a nearby alley, and one of the man's bullets hits the man on the motorcycle, killing him. Seeing this, the man runs away, and Jack picks up the dead man's motorcycle and chases him. But the man is now fleeing in a car, but Jack doesn't give up. As they flee, Jack fires his gun, puncturing the man's car's tires. The car loses balance and crashes into the wall in front of him, leaving him badly injured. The man is severely injured. Jack then approaches him and strangles him to death. Jack had killed the man, but now he was afraid that if this man knew his location, more people would be coming. So Jack called his handler, Pavel. Jack told Pavel everything and asked him what was going on. Pavel then said, "Be alert at all times because you could be attacked at any moment." He said, "The sooner you finish your job, the sooner you can leave Italy. I want to know who is following me." Pavel replied, "Don't worry, I'm looking into it." With this, Pavel hangs up and Jack goes to sleep in his room. He can't sleep the rest of the night because he's constantly haunted by memories of his ex-girlfriend, Ingrid. Jack realizes his mistake. I shouldn't have killed Ingrid because it wasn't her fault. Unable to sleep, he leaves the house and starts walking. He walks straight to the priest's house. The priest asks Jack why he can't sleep so late in the night. Jack has no answer, and the priest now fully suspects Jack of being involved in last night's murder. So he tells Jack that a man was murdered last night at the place where he lives. "Did you commit that murder? If you don't want to tell me, that's fine. I told you before that I'm a priest. I know everything." Hearing this, Jack understands that the priest has already found out what happened last night.
"I killed that man." So Jack tells the priest, "I also know that the car mechanic is your son. If the truth comes out, you'll be ruined because as a Catholic priest, you can't marry anyone. So it's better to keep your mouth shut." Jack then goes to a restaurant where Clara is already waiting for him. Just then, Clara comes to the waitress to order, and she speaks very nicely. Judging by her manner, Jack understands that she's from a good family. But due to her circumstances, she has to work at the club. Jack then calls a florist and buys flowers for Clara. Clara is very happy with this. Clara asks Jack, "Are you married?" Jack replies, "No." "No." Hearing this, Clara is delighted and says, "I don't want any other answers." Jack then comes to Clara's house with her and they spend the night together. But when Jack wakes up in the morning, he finds Clara missing from bed. This disturbs Jack. But then, hearing a noise from the bathroom, Jack realizes that Clara is in the bathroom. Seizing the opportunity, Jack quickly checks Clara's purse. When he opens it, he finds a weapon inside. This makes Jack suspicious of Clara, wondering if she might be a spy. So, Jack begins following Clara and sees her meeting with many men. This confirms that Clara is a spy, so Jack must now kill Clara as well. The very next day, Jack asks Clara if they can go on a picnic, to which Clara agrees, and Jack takes Clara in his car to a river in the middle of the forest. When Clara sees the river, she strips off her clothes and jumps into it to take a bath. Clara asks Jack to join her, but Jack refuses. After bathing, Clara lies down on a sheet to dry herself in the sun. Jack is looking at Clara strangely, which makes Clara suspicious. Then Clara picks up her purse where she kept her gun. Seeing this, Jack becomes alert and secretly takes out his gun. But then Clara takes out her sonum from her purse and tells Jack to put it on her back. Seeing this, Jack breathes a sigh of relief and puts his gun away. But now Clara sees the gun in Jack's hand, so she gets angry with him, and coming into the car, she tells Jack, "I know you saw the gun in my purse, but let me tell you, I kept that gun because there's a murderer roaming the city who's killing prostitutes, so I kept it in my purse for my own safety." Hearing this, Jack becomes completely convinced that Clara isn't a spy and that she truly loves him. Then Clara says, "I feel so good when you're with me. I want us to keep going on dates like this." But Jack refuses, saying, "I'm leaving this city soon, and this might be our last date." Hearing this, Clara completely loses her cool and kisses Jack. She also tells Jack not to leave her alone. Jack returns home, but he's completely confused because thoughts about Clara are constantly running through his mind. So Jack decides that after delivering the rifle, he'll take Clara with him. Jack then gets to work and finally assembles the weapon. After the weapon is ready, Jack goes to the market and buys a suitcase. Jack places the weapon in the suitcase and places luggage on top of it so that if the police check the suitcase, they won't see it. After completing everything, Jack calls his handler Pavel and tells him the rifle is ready. Pavel then tells him that Matilda will come to collect the weapon from him tomorrow and will also pay for it. Jack then tells Pavel that this is his last task with him. I'll retire as soon as this job is finished. Hearing this, Pavel doesn't say anything to Jack and readily agrees. But now, Jack is in trouble. Something dark begins to appear, and Jack is at a loss to understand how Pavel could so easily agree to his retirement. The next day, Jack packs up his belongings and heads to a cafe in town where Matilda arrives to meet him. Jack gives Matilda the suitcase containing the rifle. Matilda first examines everything, then tells Jack she'll be going to the bathroom and leaves with all the belongings. However, after leaving the bathroom, we see Matilda has another gun, which she loads. It's here that we learn that Matilda works for Jack's handler Pavel and now wants to kill Jack on Pavel's orders, because in Pavel's eyes, Jack is now old and useless, and Jack has killed many people for him. Therefore, Pavel feels that if Jack is left alive, Jack could become a threat to him. This is why Pavel wants to kill Jack. Meanwhile, Jack sees that everyone has left the cafe and the entire cafe is empty. Seeing this, Jack becomes suspicious and prepares his gun and comes out. Meanwhile, Matilda returns and gives Jack the full amount for the rifle. Just as Matilda is about to take out her gun and kill Jack, a school bus carrying children arrives. Unable to kill Jack amidst so many people, Matilda gets into the car and leaves. Jack then starts his car and goes to meet Clara. Meanwhile, we see Matilda following Jack's car. Just then, Matilda receives a call from Pavel, who asks, "Did you kill Jack?" Matilda replies no, saying, "Don't worry, boss, I'll kill Jack soon." After a while, Jack reaches the center of town, where there's a lot of people. Matilda also comes into town chasing Jack. She enters a house, kills the owner, and goes to the rooftop so she can shoot Jack from there. Jack meets Clara and says, "Are you ready to run away with me? I'm leaving this country tonight." Clara is overjoyed to hear this and agrees to go with him. They then embrace each other, but they don't know that both are Matilda's target. Just then, Jack's handler Pavel arrives, and Matilda aims directly at Jack from the rooftop. But as she pulls the trigger, instead of hitting Jack, the rifle backfires, shattering Matilda's skull, causing her to fall from the rooftop. Here, Jack, hearing the gunshot, sees Matilda dead. We learn that Jack isn't a rookie, but rather knew Matilda wanted to kill him. That's why Jack had the rifle settings reversed. Jack gives Clara money. He tells her, "I'm going on an errand. Go straight to the spot in the forest where we used to meet. I'll be there soon." Jack then runs to Matilda and asks her, "Who told you to kill me?" Before dying, Matilda says, "Pavel told me to kill me." Before Jack can leave, the priest arrives and Jack points his gun at the priest. But Jack doesn't want to kill an innocent person, as he's already made the mistake of killing his girlfriend, Ingrid. So Jack starts to leave, and just as he reaches the city streets, Pavel arrives. But before Pavel can kill Jack, Jack shoots him square in the forehead, killing him. Now Jack is completely free, having eliminated all his enemies. But then Jack realizes that while killing Pavel, Pavel also shot him in the stomach, causing a lot of bleeding. Jack somehow manages to get into the car and head towards Clara. However, due to the excessive bleeding, Jack begins to feel dizzy on the way. But however, he musters enough courage and drives to reach Clara because Jack wants to see Clara one last time before he dies. And while driving like this, Jack reaches the forest where he sees Clara right in front of him. And Clara also understands that Jack is in trouble, so Clara runs to Jack. But before she can reach him, Jack dies on the spot. This concludes the story. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to our channel and like the video.